Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at a wild foxgrape vine. Fox grapes are little berry-looking grapes, sort of bluish type little grapes. They have a sharp taste, sweet, sort of sharp, sour taste, but satisfying. And at a distance, it seems as though the vine is just an ordinary vine, nothing happening on the inside. So let's move closer, and we are going to see some sort of amazing things today that we can take a lesson from and learn from as we get closer to the vine. First of all, as we get closer, we notice something. There is a tree, in fact, two of them, growing in the midst of the vine. In fact, we'll go to the smallest tree first. You see from the ground, the smaller tree has grown up. But let's follow now a pattern that will sort of shock you. The tree would ordinarily grow straight, but it began to coil and act just like the vines. Get this now. We can show you how it has coiled and twisted and has become of an uncertain traveler in growth. It's winding. See? And ordinarily it would have grown straight, but it's begun to act out the characteristic of the vine. Why did it do this? Because when it was small and tender and easy to bend, easy to control, easy to guide, the strong, powerful vines of the fox grape began to wrap around that little bush and control it, and would not let that bush grow up normally. It began to hold it down and make it coil and bend and wrap and twist just like them. In other words, the foxgrape vines began to insist, force that tree that was ordinarily growing straight up, as its general nature is to do, grow against its nature, against its own DNA, so to speak, and act just like a vine. But there's another tree, a larger tree. Let's go from the base of it. The second tree we'll look at today, straight to the ground, as it has grown up. And it grew up, as you can follow in this video, but you can see as we near the top, it has begun to bend. The strong, powerful, stubborn, uncompromising vine grabbed it and made it bend and bow. And we can see clearly that it did not either grow up in the way that is its original nature. It's bent and held back by the stubborn, uncompromising vines in the midst of which it grew. So then what is my message today? as we observe this, what I would call, wonder. These trees did not grow in the midst of the vines. They're straight. Look at these trees. Because they hung around and partnered in the environment of other trees that were going straight up. They did not grow in the midst of the vines. The associates are going straight up and growing straight up, and they decided to grow with them, and they are growing straight and will accomplish what God designed them to accomplish. Let's notice something else. There are other little bushes. You can see them. They are designed to be trees. Unfortunately, as the vines continue to spread and wrap their tentacles around these little tender bushes, these bushes as well will become subject to the demands of the vines, and they too will begin to grow crooked and bend. In fact, it's already begun to happen, as you can see. The vines have begun already to do their number, to do their vicious job of holding them back. They will not be able to fulfill the growth of that statue, the beauty of it. They will grow, but as you can already see, they are inclined already to grow the wrong way and act like vines when they are not vines. I was talking with a young lady a few nights ago. She's in high school now, and she wants to become a lawyer. Well, there are vines that will keep you from becoming a lawyer. You may want to become a doctor. There are young men in high school, young ladies in high school want to become great people. Well, you'll never make it. You'll never make it if you hang around the wrong crowd. You'll never make it if you hang around the vines. You will be coiled, and you will be restricted, and you will not be able to produce in the way that you should. You'll be acting like the crowd with which you mingle. They are going nowhere, and neither will you. If you partner with them, you're not better than they are, but you're not going where they're going. So you don't need to be hanging around them a lot and partnering with them. You don't need to be spending a lot of time with people going nowhere, because you'll wind up going nowhere. The years go by so fast. Before you know it, you're 40 and 50 years old. And what have you accomplished? What will you accomplish? Nothing if you don't hang around the right crowd. You may be hanging around those using abusive drugs, hanging around those using guns and knives, and they have criminal minds. If you start hanging around them, you'll have a criminal mind. You do not want a cluster of confusion. You want peace. You don't want to be trapped and restricted, to be forced to be like the ones who are bent on lawlessness, and some will die with guns, blades, overdoses of drugs. You do not want that. You don't want to have a baby early, before your time, young lady. Finish high school. Go on to get your education. Put God first and move along to your destiny, to your goal, to the purpose for which you were born. Young man, you don't want the cluster of confusion and restrictions put onto you, imposed upon you by those who are going absolutely nowhere. And if you will only stick with the few who are going places, growing upward, the time will come when your dreams will come true. You will reach your goal, and God will help you in the process.